Foundation building in any business is important. Foundation is like the ground that holds the new seedling that is going to turn into something amazing. I'm Catherine Story. I'm a fashion designer for 20 plus years. I'm going over just a couple tips from my book, Artistic Rebel. There's many levels of the foundation that you will need to have a successful business. First of all, there are a lot of steps that really have nothing to do with anything physical. To have passion is the most sustaining quality you need to have to be successful, to have passion in what you're doing. Because passion is actually going to be the thing that will keep you doing it until you succeed. I've been designing clothes since I can remember. 17, 18, always putting things together and designing in my 20s when I was in London. I love fashion. I love creating. I'm from a family of artists. This has helped me just keep on keeping on through the thick and the thin of the business. You must have a passion. Now that passion may change physically, like you may start where you want to design and you may end up to where you're styling. But the passion for the thing that you're involved in life is what is really the fuel and the fire that will keep you going. Specifically, as an independent fashion designer, one of the foundations is this passion. And one of the foundations is the passion will lead you to want to know more about your subject that you're passionate about. If you really aren't interested in clothing structure or some of the just basic learning tools that you need to design a garment, maybe you don't want to draw, maybe you don't want to learn how to sew, maybe you don't want to learn how to cut, you probably are not passionate enough, because you need some foundational things to keep your seedling growing. So you do need to know how it would be good for you, it would be beneficial. If you think about that grounding, you need to make sure that the soil is watered and make sure that you give it the sunlight that it needs. So there are some just basic things you need to know about building your company, and relating it to a plant is just one thing. You know, a foundation is what will make the plant sturdy. Look at the trees, all the different elements, and the hurricanes we have here in Miami. As you build these little things, believe me, we all want to do the fun part, right? If you start to really look back and see how you've grown from when you started to where you are now, regardless of where you are in your stage of business, you will see that all those little things have actually made you more of what you are today. So going back to the qualities of the foundation. So we talked about aesthetic, your design aesthetic. Why is that? Why do you want to design for women? Why do you want to use sustainable fabrics only? What are the things that make your foundation you, your brand? What makes you unique? Being you is unique. You have to be you. Do what the crazy is. Be willing to make a few mistakes with what you're doing. It's not going to ruin your foundation. In fact, you may learn how to do something better. Cut into that fabric that you have sitting there that you really are afraid to use because it was $100 fabric. Or if you have a vintage piece you're reworking, just cut into it. Don't be afraid. Yes, you may ruin it, but I can tell you honestly that I never really threw a piece away that I was making. I can remember maybe one piece. It's totally not to say that everything sold at full price or the price I wanted, but there was always something to it if I just kept going through it. Like, don't give up in the middle. Part of building your foundation is seeing the job all the way through. I never, very rarely, I can't even tell you if I can't remember a time that I left the studio with something half done, because part of the energy of doing it is it's like the muse is there with you while you're doing it. And if you leave, you'll come back and then maybe look at it and go, what was I thinking? Where if you would have just stuck it through all the way to the end, you would have known what you were thinking and the magic would have happened. The foundation, again, is building those muscles to keep your desire going through even when it's tough. Think about the designers work their hearts out to make these these collections and then the media just trashes their collections. I can't imagine how that would feel. But if that designer really did do what he felt in his heart, he can't be upset about it. I've had people come into my boutique, and honestly, a lot of times when I'm in there, I won't let them know it's me, because as a designer, it's really valuable to get honest feedback by somebody that doesn't know they're talking to the designer. And so I have heard a few things, and I kind of laugh because they're right, and my designs aren't for everybody. Your designs are not going to be for everybody. And why would you want them to be for everybody? You are not one of those mainstream brands. You will find your tribe. If you stick to your aesthetic, you start with the foundation and build on that foundation. So again, your aesthetic is very important that you stick to it, and it will be changing, but it will be evolving. Thank God we want to evolve. We certainly don't want to be doing the same things. We don't want to be wearing the same clothes we wore when we were 10, and we don't want to have the same aesthetics throughout our whole lives. We want them to evolve. You can always remember where you came from, and I think as artists, our childhood is always like a thread through our designs and our lives. So those are the good things. Those are the things you want to keep, but you can keep evolving. The other thing is with a big designer, they've already seen it. Right? Oh, we already saw that. They did that last season. So like a designer can't really win. So why would you try to win? Win for yourself. Do what is in your heart and keep going. So another foundation step is the business side. Now, do you keep records of how much money you spend, how much time you spend? Because going forward, you're going to need to know those hours, right? If you're not working for free. Are you working for $20 an hour? Would you be able to hire a person for $20 an hour to do what you're running around looking for fabric, and you're running over to see the sample maker and look big term, look like long play, and see like, okay, I've done that job. I've ran in downtown LA from that garment center to over here to Michael Levine to get fabric and took it back over there to the contractors. That took 3 hours. You're gonna know, like, these are important things for you to do. You have to be able to know if somebody's ripping you off or not, and how much a job is worth. When I'm just strictly designing, I started at about $100 an hour billing for myself, and now I'm higher than that. I'm expensive because not only can I do things quicker than I used to be able to do them, not that speed has anything to do with design, it's more the efficiency of what you want to create aligns with your hands and the things you have around you. You definitely get paid more when you have experience. Experience is what the foundation and what the seed will grow with. You need to work those things through. You have to put in the time. You have to earn the next level of your business, of your brand, of all of it. And believe me, we've heard of those designers, musicians, where they're like one-hit wonders. Do you want to be a one-hit wonder? Is this your life? For me, this is my life. Art is my life. Creativity is my life. I'm learning more about the business side always, every day, and the digital side. It's challenging, but obsessed with always pushing my brand to the next level as best I can. If I didn't have a good foundation, it wouldn't happen. It would just fall apart. So these are just a couple tips on how I feel that if you really just take the time and be patient, but stick to what is in your heart, be disciplined. Discipline is the word of the day. I have a list here. Make a list, go through it, and you're going to know at the end of the day if you ripped yourself off or not. Do you want your employee doing that? You really do have to watch yourself and make sure you are managing your activities. Time cannot be managed. Your activities can be managed. So you get as much time on this planet in this day as Beyonce does, or as Tom Ford does. So what are you doing? How are you managing your activities to bring the most beneficial for you, for your growth, and for the planet, and to bring your unique message and voice to the world? So I hope you like this. I could talk and talk and talk. I'm passionate about working on myself and improving myself and my business, and I hope you like it. I'd love your feedback, and please subscribe and like it and share it. Thanks so much.